we do our accents for this one since it's more serious, or no?
We can like kind of just do our thing.
Okay. Howdy y'all. My name's Ree.
I'm Emma.
And we're the Emotional Cowgirls.
Yep.
So this video is what we call then and now. So we're basically comparing how we've changed since when we did our first video versus how we are now. So we're going to answer some questions about how our lives have changed since then. Has your perspective on drugs changed?
Yes. So I've changed because now I have more of an understanding of like plant medicines and stuff, like Ayahuasca, mushrooms, all that shiz, you know, and like psychedelics, like that whole thing. I used to think that they were evil, but I don't think that anymore.
I've been on the same journey. It happened for me slower because I really had it like drilled into my brain that like every substance is bad for you. But then I realized a lot of those things are natural, like marijuana is natural, mushrooms are natural, ayahuasca is natural. Drug isn't a great word to describe all substances like that because I kind of learned over time that if it comes from the earth, it's like here for a reason.
Right. That's exactly what I told you.
I know, you did, and I was really like stubborn back then because I was brainwashed.
Yeah, it's alright. We all have that.
We live in Utah. Everyone is brainwashed at some point.
True.
How have your spiritual beliefs changed?
Oh God, completely. I think when we started, was I still Mormon when we started filming?
When we started filming, I think we were both not Mormon, but when I met you, I think you were starting to break out of it and you were like starting to like get me out of it. We both used to be Mormon because we were raised in the LDS church, but we're both not anymore. I'm still Wiccan, so it's been like, what, 5 years since I first started Wicca? I'm still Wiccan, so.
I'm still figuring myself out. You know that there's a religion that is basically like you believe in everything, and I'm like,
there's a name for that. It's called like polytheistic.
I was researching that the other day and I was like, because I can't figure out, like I definitely I like Wicca and all that stuff, but I'm not sure if it's like my set religion.
I mean, I'm open to other things too because I believe in the things that Buddha teach and I believe in Hinduism as well. The great thing about Wicca is it's not like specifically one thing. There's a general outline for it, but you're allowed to go as far out of that outline as you want.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. How has your appearance/style changed?
I actually don't know. How's my style changed?
I don't know. You still got the long hair and the glasses.
Yeah, and the choker. I've had this thing.
You're not wrong.
Literally, I'm getting close to the camera. I've had this thing for so long.
You literally wore that since 7th grade.
Literally.
I didn't even notice you were still wearing it.
Yeah, dude, it's the same one I've had, and I forget that I have it sometimes because I'm just so used to it. But I wear more like crop tops and leggings now. I feel like.
My style has changed a lot over the years. I cut my hair in a million different ways. I dyed it bright pink for a sec. I had it half long and half shaved for a minute, and now I have a pixie cut. I had a bowl cut for a minute. I've been doing everything, and now I'm wearing whatever because today was a horrible day. Now my style typically is more hippie style, kind of gypsy type wear.
I like it a lot. It's very cute. It totally matches your vibe. I really like it.
Oh, I love that. This lane is my style. This is the kind of stuff I wear. Who was in your life back then and who's in your life back now, and are some of those people still the same?
Well, you're still in my life.
Yeah, I think you're the only person who is still in my life from back then.
Yeah, there was Sam. I talk to him occasionally.
He still dabbles in our lives, but didn't he move?
Yeah, he lives in California. Oh, my sister's calling me. We'll be back after this commercial break.
I think I'm gonna just...
The commercial break is over.
Okay, so the people in our life from back then.
Oh, right.
Okay, there was this person who was in our life back then. They may or may not be watching this. I wouldn't be surprised since they're kind of a stalker. Basically, they used to be really annoying in our life, and then they recently randomly came back and started bugging us again for no reason. It's wild. So that person popped back up. I thought we were done with them, but I guess not.
And blocking doesn't help because they just
make more accounts. How has your lifestyle changed?
Oh wow. It's changed a lot for me. I used to be a lot happier. I used to have a lot more energy and I used to keep my room clean. I hang out with completely different people, new crowds, and yeah.
I've also changed a lot lifestyle-wise. I'm vegetarian now. I'm thinking of becoming a minimalist. I'm gonna get rid of like all my stuff and only keep like a couple things. I feel like I also used to probably be happier. I think my mental health was a lot better back then, and I was definitely a lot more active as far as actually practicing my religion. I used to do spells and stuff every day and meditate for like 4 hours a day. Now I can't even meditate for 5 minutes, and I haven't done a spell in like years.
Babies, look at them all, they're so small and kawaii.
Pets, they don't know. How have your pets changed?
Okay, I still have my dog. Now I have gerbils and fish, and I have more animals. I have a cat now.
You still have Napoleon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Napoleon.
My pets, all my bunnies have basically either died or been given away over time. I no longer have bunnies, but I have a beta fish now, and he's mine. And I also have my own snake, Alex. You guys also know if you watch my channel. We have birds now. We've gone through a lot of birds actually since we first started filming. We had a cockatiel that died and 2 lovebirds, one that died and one that we had to give away because he got freaking possessed by a demon. But now we have 4 parakeets that are adorable.
You have 4 now?
Yeah, we have 4. They're very cute. How have you changed as a person?
My mindset on a lot of things has changed.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I view things a lot differently now. Like, when it comes to relationships, it's like everyone is guilty until proven innocent. And it's hard for me to fall in love and form real relationships with people now. And I'm also more introverted rather than extroverted because of quarantine. So a lot has happened, and my mindset has changed on a lot of things.
Quarantine kind of effed everybody.
It literally ruined everything. Everyone had so many plans, and we just had to put our whole fucking lives on hold for a year.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Rude. I had so many things I was going to do that year, and everything got ruined. And I'll never get to do those things now.
I was going to go to a concert.
I was too.
So sad.
I was going to go to Disneyland for band tour and go to Indiana for a drum major clinic. And I was going to go the year before because I was drum major again too. My mom planned a vacation over it. And I was really hoping to get drum major again the next year so I could go. And I did. And I made sure to not plan anything over it, but then I couldn't go.
Because quarantine. And then I was going to go to New York and go see Broadway shows. I was going to go see Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen and Wicked and Phantom of the Opera on Broadway in New York.
I literally took 2 whole classes that I hated just because I wanted to get to the final project, and I didn't get to either final project, and I hated both classes, so I had to sit through them and then didn't even get to do the last term. Fuck you, 2020.
Yeah, honestly.
Don't
2020.
Don't miss you.
Don't miss you.
Have you changed locations since then?
Yeah, I have. Wait.
Yeah, you moved.
Yeah, I moved, and I'm about to move again.
Nice. I have not changed locations, and I probably won't anytime soon. Hashtag I don't have a life and I'm not going to college. Have your hobbies and interests changed?
A little bit, yeah. I'm not a weeaboo anymore.
Same, thank God. I still like anime a little bit, but I don't watch it like hardly ever. I like Hunter x Hunter, that stayed the same.
I've got the Attack on Titan and the show called Beastars. I don't know if have you heard of that? It's like a effed up version of Zootopia, and it addresses the fact that animals eat meat, which Zootopia didn't. It's anyway.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, back then was when I first started getting into songwriting, and I'm still doing that, and I actually started to take that somewhere now.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Crushes then and now, and relationships.
Oh wow. My relationships have completely changed. They went from junior high relationships to adult relationships in a span of a month.
Yeah, my relationships back then were all online, and they were all really angsty. Now they're with real people in person. Not that the other people weren't real, but they're in person.
Right.
And I'd like to say they're healthier, but so far they have not been healthier. The only difference is physical stuff actually happened because I can see them in real life. It's really hard for me to get crushes on anyone now.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's really hard. I can't, even if they're perfect for me. It's hard to let my emotions do that.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of put your fear aside, and I've been practicing that a little bit because I started seeing that new person,
Oh yeah.
and it's been tricky. I don't know. After my relationship, we both had a similar experience. Similar, not the same, but
Yeah,
similar.
very similar.
Yeah. I think I kind of effed us both.
Honestly, the thing is, it takes like a freaking lot of energy to be in love. Like, you don't realize it while you're in love, but it takes so much energy, and I just don't have that energy right now.
Right. It's a lot of work, and it's like completely exposing yourself to the vulnerability of another person. Like, they have your heart in their hands, and it's so scary.
They can do whatever they want with it. They can mold it and drop it and break it and play with it, and you have no control after that once you've given it to them.
Right, yeah.
It's theirs until they throw it away, and then you can dig it up out of the trash and try to fix it for a year and a half.
It never really truly heals.
Yeah, because, you know, all you can do is super glue the broken parts together, and now it's just a messy, like, almost what is almost perfect, but then the more times it gets shattered, the harder it is to put it back together how it was.
Right.
And soon it becomes this messed up piece of crap that you don't even know how it got there.
Oh my god, I don't like relationships.
I hate love. Love sucks. Love is a fucked up mess. How has your relationship with social media changed?
I don't shitpost anime memes anymore.
Yeah, I don't shitpost. Okay, back then, I've changed a lot with this because back then, I literally lived on Instagram. Like, I lived on there more than I lived in real life, and the only people who knew anything about me were online, and my whole persona was on there, and I basically made Instagram my whole life.
Yeah.
But now, it's like, I try to never be on social media. I actually gave up all social media for like 8 months, and then I got it again because the person who I'm writing a song with said that in order to like get anywhere with my songwriting, I have to have social media.
Yeah.
And so I do have it on my phone, but I never use it.
Right, yeah.
So I've come a long way.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You really like expanded your circle. You know what I mean?
Like, I feel like I'm more open-minded now.
Right.
I used to like not want to believe anything that I didn't think was true, but now I'm kind of like, oh, I'm willing to explore this whole other perspective that I didn't even consider before.
I'm very proud.
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Round of applause, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Y'all are so kind. Have you discovered more about your sexuality since then?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I started filming, I knew like what I liked.
I figured out a lot about my sexuality back then. I have realized that I am panromantic and asexual. To some degree, I'm somewhere on the spectrum. When I had my first girl crush in 7th grade was when I was really Mormon, and I hated myself for it. Did I ever tell you about that, or did I just write it down in my journal?
I don't know. Like, that sounds familiar, but remind me again.
Okay, so I got a crush on this girl in my ward, and she was actually the daughter of the young women's president, so it was really bad, and she was really Mormon, but we like, to her it was platonic, but we like cuddled on the bus at youth conference. And I like, because my butt got wet because I like sat in a puddle or something. And so she was like, oh, you can use me as your cushion. So she had me sit in her lap. And then, so I was sitting in her lap, and then she like wrapped her arms around my torso and just like laid on me. And I remember like being super flustered and like being like, oh my gosh, why do I feel so weird right now? And she like fell asleep on me, and I just remember wanting to protect her. And I just remember, but then afterwards I like played it off, and like my excuse was, oh, I was just thinking like a guy. And then after that, I remember every time I like saw her, I got this weird feeling in my stomach, and I was like, wait, I know this feeling, what is it? And I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, wait, this is how I feel when I get crushes on people. And then after that, I started hating myself, and I like beat myself up so much. It was really bad, and I thought I was going to hell, and I thought God hated me, and that I could never be worthy of love again.
The Mormon church, It really messes with people.
And I remember this guy in our ward was like sitting like across the room from us, and he like looked at us and he was like, you guys look comfortable. And then she was like, yeah, she's my cushion, or she's my pillow. And then I was like, yeah, and she's my cushion. And
aww.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Anyway.
It's kind of sweet. Like, I know that the circumstances are like not
hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but like I don't know, that whole like situation, I think that's kind of sweet.
It was cute, yeah. It was like my first girl crush. Yeah.
My first girl crush was someone I did ballet with.
Aww.
Yeah, we would like dance together and stuff, and then like we'd hang out afterwards. And then my second girl crush was this other girl, and they actually ended up getting together.
Rude.
Yeah, in front of me. And I liked both of them a little bit at the time.
Legend of Korra.
Like, it was crazy. I was like, oh god. I was sitting in the back seat at a young woman's activity, and they were holding hands.
It's always
like,
young women's. Yeah, I've also figured out a lot about my identity. All I know is I'm comfortable with any pronouns at this point. At some point I was going by Cameron. I'm not sure how I feel about that now. It fluctuates. It's my first time saying that to anyone on the internet. So don't watch this, Mom.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you. Don't leave me. Oh my gosh. JoJo.
Okay, good chat.
Have your fictional crushes stayed the same or have they changed, and do you still have them?
Okay, there's one crush that still gets me just a little like, woo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not who you think it is. Maybe it is. It's Bond.
JoJo.
No, it's not. It's Bond from Seven Deadly Sins. His English dub voice, I realized that it's mostly his voice I'm attracted to, but also he's like 7 feet tall and oh my gosh, he gets me like, woo.
Huh?
You better go on ahead without me.
You're not coming?
I can't just let go of this. Not when I'm so close.
100% dead serious. I would still choose Rock Lee over any real boy.
誰がこんなひどいことを。
Really?
If I had the choice to like get with like someone I had a crush on in real life or make Rock Lee real and have him be with me, I would definitely do that in a heartbeat.
Honestly, relatable. Yeah. I don't blame you for that.
Okay, I am over this, but the other day I was looking back at old, like I was going through my old Instagram account and I would post like certain pictures of Kusei that used to make me really flustered. And I was going through them and I would click it on one and just be like, and like my breath just like left for a second and I just remember like my heart was beating and I was like,
Oh my god.
and it was just like I was back there again, like when I was like young.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that because I was looking at, I don't remember what I was looking at, maybe like, oh, my old Instagram. I was looking at my old Instagram and I found pictures of like KO and like all that stuff and I felt those like feelings again, that whole like vibe around it.
Those people are like, how could you feel nostalgic about that show? Like it's so sad, it makes me want to cry and die every time I watch, like think about it. And I'm like, I don't know, for me it had like other things attached to it because we were going through our little journey.
It was like an emotional time for us.
It was magical. Like yeah, it was sad, but it was also magical. It had elements of magic in it. Has the quality of our videos changed?
I think so.
I think a little bit. I mean, definitely the effort has changed. I feel like we try a little bit harder, but we still are just using a phone camera. So I feel like the thumbnails are a lot better, but
That's all you.
they're a little bit better, yeah, but we're still, like the audio of this video probably sucks ass.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
It's us, the Emotional Cowgirls.
It's us.
Have your dreams changed?
Yeah, I don't really have dreams anymore. That's sad to say, but it's true.
I mean, I feel like that happens as you get older.
Yeah, like back then I was much more like, ooh, I'm gonna change the world, I'm a superhero, like I'm a baddie, and now I'm just like, what, am I a human? I don't know.
My dreams used to be a lot more great. I used to really want to like go meet all my internet friends and that would still be really nice to do, but my heart isn't really set on anything anymore. I still have things I would like to do, like if possible I'd love to make songwriting my permanent career, even if I don't get like famous necessarily. I just want it to be able to live off of what I love. I just don't expect anything like that to happen. I just have more realistic expectations now.
I mean, honestly, like, you with like your songwriting career and stuff, I feel like that's something that could literally like become your career. It has potential and
Oh, for sure.
and you know, of course, like the realistic expectations thing, I think that's good.
Yeah, everyone like is telling me it's really realistic, and they're like, no, you like are literally the perfect age, and you have all the right people. You can literally do it like right now. You just need to start actually making the songs, and that's what I've been doing. And everyone, like literally a famous songwriter told me that I have like so much potential, and I'm in like such a great position to do this. But like, also my brain just doesn't want to believe it. Like, just because I don't want to get my hopes up and let myself down, because I can't handle any of that crap right now. Because I'm already at like such a low, I'm like barely off the ground, so if I hit rock bottom, I'm probably, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. You're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be okay. Everything's fine. I also kind of gave up on my dream of being a famous YouTuber. Like I kind of abandoned my personal channel and I'm only really focused on this one now. because this one's fun to do, and so it brings me something even if we don't get a lot of views. But like with mine, like I worked really hard on it and got literally nothing out of it, and no one really cared, and it was hard. And all my favorite famous YouTubers are like, oh yeah, it only took me a year. They all say like it took me about a year to get where I'm at. But I worked on like several different channels, and one of them I worked on for like 3 years. We've been working on this one for like 3 years too, and it just, it doesn't go anywhere no matter how much effort I put into it. And so
it's hard.
It is hard.
The algorithm of YouTube is crap. It's so hard to get famous on YouTube now. Back then, it was a lot easier.
Really,
so
yeah.
you know, you meet those YouTubers like Shane Dawson or something. I mean, that's a bad example because of the controversy. But anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, he had more of like a chance because there wasn't a lot of people doing it.
Yeah,
you know.
And like the YouTubers I tend to watch are all commentary YouTubers, and they were already like on Vine, and so they already had a following there when they went to YouTube. And so it was basically them shifting from Vine to YouTube, and so their followers just And like Harmony Nice, like she got a following like in like a year because she was the only like wicked YouTuber basically at that time. Like there wasn't a lot. She might have been like one of the first ones, if not the first one. But now that TikTok made Wicca like a trend, and every freaking YouTuber is doing Wicca stuff now, and so it's like you can't get recognized anymore.
I hereby dedicate this park to Edward Elric.
Have your fandoms changed?
Yeah, I watch a lot more like adult shows now instead of like cartoons. Like I watched barely finished Squid Game, obviously, because it's like one of the best shows. Anyway, and I've been watching You. It's a show, not like, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
And like Shameless and like all that stuff. Like, I don't know, I've kind of just seen a little bit of everything.
I'm not a big fan of shows. Like, it takes a lot to get me invested and committed to a show now. Now I mostly watch documentaries. And I also am really into podcasts now, so I have a lot of podcast fandoms, as well as like, back then it was all about anime, but now I'm more into webtoon.
Webtoon.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's so good.
we've come a long way. Our variety has expanded a lot. We used to just be like, anime.
Anime is life. That's okay, we were happy.
We were happy, you're right. We were happy.
We were wild.
We like, our emotional stability was like attached to these shows.
It really was. When I say we lived and breathed,
We lived it.
Yeah, like
it was straight up. It was directly connected to our like emotional health.
All the time. A character would die in a show and we'd be
And we'd
crying
be
for
depressed
days.
for like 6 months, yeah. I literally, dude, I went into like this huge like state of like a really bad depression to the point where I was like suicidal over the like Kyuugon thing when I first found out that they parted ways. And I was like in that state for like 4 months, and I would like the only thing that made me happy like during that time was marching band.
Dang.
It was really bad.
Yeah, we were really invested in the shows that we watched.
It was
Like,
so bad. My parents were actually worried about me because I was so invested, and they thought about like getting me therapy and stuff, and they were like, apparently they had private conversations where they were like, we're really worried about her, like she's not okay. They were like, she cares too much about anime, like a scary amount. I'm so sorry to anyone who knew us back then. I'm so sorry.
Same.
How has your relationship with others changed?
Well, I was a lot more trusting back then.
That was the first thing I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I had a lot more faith in people and humanity, but and I think now it's starting to kind of shift a little bit. I'm more like, I'm trying to let go of my fears because I've been basically forced to confront them because I've been proposed to like 6 times by one guy. So I have to like confront my fears and anxieties about commitments, and I mean, he's amazing. He's being super sweet about it, and he's like, we just call each other significant others instead of boyfriend and girlfriend because it makes me feel better.
Same thing. I got fucked up by people, and I used to trust everyone right away, no matter what they said. Like, literally, a guy I never met, I only knew him on the internet for like a day, said, I know how to do Naruto shit, and I'm gonna teach you. And I was like, oh yeah, I believe you. Right away.
Yeah.
I believed everything he told me. And now, it's like, someone could literally be like, hey, a fortune teller could read my tarot and be like, hey, you're gonna have a good future. And I'd be like, you're lying, peace out, bullshit. I don't even trust myself when I like give myself readings and stuff anymore, even though like I know that the cards like know what they're doing and you can't get a wrong answer with tarot, but I don't trust myself. And so I don't trust anyone, but I also don't trust myself. So it's like, I'm like, what if I just messed up as the reader? And then, yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
Thank you.
This video is a little sad.
It really is. Overall, do you think you've changed for the worse or for the better?
Honestly, both. Like, I've changed better, like, in the way that I've matured a lot more, but I've also, like, worsened because of my, like, you know, again, trust issues, all that stuff, and, like, I don't have any, like, fire in my soul anymore, like, that kind of got burnt out.
Extinguished, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, but I'm trying to find it again.
Same thing. I feel like I've grown and learned a lot of lessons. Like, I've discovered a lot of great things like minimalism, being vegetarian. I've discovered my sexuality and I've accepted it, and I don't, like, I've broken free of the Mormon church and I know who I am, but I've also changed for the worse in a lot of ways. Like, it's hard for me to connect to my religion now. It's hard for me to meditate like I used to, which was like what helped me the most back then. And like witchcraft and all that is what literally got rid of my depression, and a lot of stuff like that has changed, and I'm also just not innocent anymore, and I'm just a lot less trusting and believing of everything now. It's just like, I don't have that fire anymore either. It's kind of like I used to have so much passion in my soul, and I knew who I was, and I was confident that I could change the world and do anything that I put my mind to, and I know that that's still the case, and I still can, but your mindset determines that, and I don't have the mindset to believe that I can right now.
Yeah, we're at a very tricky point in our lives right now, like a pivotal point of, like, we're not kids, we're adults now. Like,
we're adults, but we're still teenagers too.
Yeah, so it's
at
like
the same time.
People expect us, just because a day passed by, that we're gonna be like, have our shit together.
Yeah.
Like, no, I still feel like I'm like 12, like mentally.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's weird because we're closer to age 20 than we are to 13, and that scares me.
Oh my god, that freaks me out.
Because I still feel like I never grew up since that time. I still feel like I'm stuck in that time.
Same.
Before, I worked through all these issues that I had through like meditation and through my spirituality, and I overcame my fear of death and my fear of like losing people and stuff like that, and I got through all of that, and then like made a lot of progress, but now I have completely other fears. Like, I have a fear of getting old and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I literally like want to kill myself before I'm 60 just so that I don't have to get old. Like, I feel like my life is going to go by too fast, and I do believe that there are other lives and stuff like that, but no one knows for sure, and that scares me, and what if this is it and I don't get another chance to experience anything again, because I've been dissociating. I haven't experienced the last like 3 years of my life, and so I'm like, what if this just never ends and I don't get to experience the rest of my life? I'm so young and I don't get to experience like the next 50, 60 years of my life, and then that's it, you know?
Damn, that's deep. And I have the same fears. Yeah, it's scary. It's like life just got so real all of a sudden.
It's so short and small, and like I always knew that life was short, and like with goodness honest and everything, and like it can end at any second. Like, I might not even make it to 60. I might die when I'm 19. I might die tomorrow. But like, what if I look back and I'm not satisfied? Also, all my friends are getting married, and we're like 18.
Same. I gotta show you me. Hold up. It's perfect.
Okay. I love that. Can you please send me that?
Yeah.
I just got chills.
I know, right?
I love that. Wait, let's read that out loud.
Read it. I'm dyslexic.
Nobody ever talks about this part. You know, the part where you're no longer a caterpillar and not yet a butterfly. You don't know who you are, and you don't know where you're going. All you know is that every fiber of your being is calling for transformation, for disruption, for a revolution of the spirit. So surrender, break down. This is not the death of you. This is the dying of who you once were. This is your rebirth, darling, and these are called growing pains. I'm literally about to cry.
I cried so hard when I saw that. I was like, oh god. It's so cute, and like, it's totally what I needed to hear, because it's true. I mean, like, we're at that pivotal point. We're turning into butterflies.
We've done a lot. I'm really glad it's normal and it's not just me.
Right? Dude, it's comforting to know that you're not alone. Like, there's people who are going through it too, and yeah.
I'm like, gonna cry for YouTube video. It's fun.
I feel like that's a baby crazy. Maybe.
Do you miss how things used to be?
I do, yeah.
I do too.
I miss, like, the freedom of, like, knowing that I had my future ahead of me. And, like, I still do, but, like, the idea of, like, okay, I'm 14, I don't have my license yet. Like, we would walk everywhere, we'd go on so many adventures. Like,
we'd walk like 2 cities away just to get coffee.
literally, like we just explored around a city for a day.
Because we had all day to do it. We had all the time in the world.
Right, and
We had sleepovers like every night.
yeah, literally, and I wasn't worried about like, you know, what my career was gonna be. I thought in my mind I was like, I have time. This is just a fun time, you know. And I didn't have any like actual stresses or anxieties. Like I definitely had some, because you know my dad died and all that stuff, but it was different.
Yeah.
Like from when I lived where I lived then and where I live now, it's a completely different lifetime for me.
And like that was the time in my life when I first discovered meditation and mindfulness and living in the moment. When I first discovered how to do that, it was when I didn't have anything in my life going on. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere I had to be. And so like my only concerns were living in the moment, and I had all the freedom to do that, and I didn't have any anxieties either. Like my biggest anxieties were in anime. That's literally the worst of my problems back then. The only two things on my mind were like, how can I enjoy this moment to the fullest, and how can I help everyone? I didn't even know how to hate back then. I didn't have it in me to judge people. It was like I was so innocent. All I wanted to do was help. And when I first met someone, my first thought was, what are you going through and how can I help you? Like, it was so nice. And now I hate everyone. And I'm like, I just wish, I don't know. It sucks. And now I like judge people all the time, and I'm not as great of a person as I used to be.
It's hard because, you know, we're changing a lot, and people I feel like the whole idea of like innocent until proven guilty. I used to have that mindset too. Like, I don't know, I had a lot of faith in people, but it's hard because we've grown up and we've had people really screw us over.
Yeah.
And it's
like our mindset has flipped. Like back then, I couldn't judge people because they were innocent until proven guilty, but now it's like I judge everyone and they're guilty until proven innocent. And like I won't trust someone until they prove to me that they're different. And sometimes that can take months or even years for me to decide that they're safe for me.
Yeah.
And I just won't fully open up to them until then.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. What was your favorite thing about that time?
Oh god. Just like the magic, like the vibe of like wintertime, like
Yeah,
that. I still get like that little like
Nostalgia.
you know, like whenever it snows.
All right, let's go.
No poop, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, in the winter I always like drive by your old house and just look at it when it's snowing.
I had a lot of hope and faith in myself, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna, you know, people are gonna know me, I'm gonna be remembered. But almost everybody from where I used to live does not like me, and I realized over time I've become a very hated person. This is totally like a side tangent, but it's because the whole thing of like, if you wrong me once, like we're done. Like I do that now. And I know that now, and like even things that I didn't do, like I started dating this guy, and his ex just ripped at me and told a bunch of people all these lies about me, and so that's what people thought about me. And I'm a very, very disliked person, and it stresses me out to think about it. And I wish I could go back to when I wasn't disliked and like do that all over again.
Now I'm like the opposite. I feel like people give me too much credit because I used to be super extroverted and I would do anything for other people, but now I feel like I'm kind of a recluse and I just don't trust anyone, and I don't go out of my way to do anything for anyone, and I just don't care about people until I've gotten like as close as we are. And everyone's like, oh, you're so amazing, I feel so comfortable talking around you, and I feel like I can tell you anything, when I haven't even fully opened up to them yet because I just don't trust them. And I feel like they give me too much credit because they're like, everyone's like, I feel so safe around you, like you're a really comfortable friend to be around, and I'm like, I don't deserve that, I literally hate everybody. My favorite thing about that time was probably just like the innocence of it all, and we didn't really have a sense of like right and wrong yet, we just believed what everyone told us, and so if someone said something was possible, then it was.
Yeah.
And we would make it that way because that was our mindset.
Yeah.
Our dreams would come true, and if our parents didn't want to drive us 2 cities away to go to the movies, we'd be like, okay, we'll just go anyway, and then we'd literally walk.
Yeah.
And like nothing stopped us from doing anything because we were so innocent that anything we wanted to be real could be real. And I feel like I manifested a lot of things to be real without even realizing, just by believing that they were real.
That time was amazing.
It was amazing.
We had like so much spirit.
That was the happiest I've ever been, and that was like, it was like almost exactly a year, I think, that I felt so good. And that was when I first figured out like mindfulness, and I figured out my religion, and I knew exactly who I was, and I was so happy. And I remember just smiling up at the ceiling one night at 3 a.m. being like, I'm Wiccan, and just smiling and being like, wow, I love that, I'm Wiccan, and I'm really Wiccan. And I was like, wow, this is who I am, and it makes sense, and suddenly I have answers to all the questions about the universe that I didn't know the answer to before, that everyone would just cover up with like, you just have to have faith, or sometimes we don't know that, and no other religion gave me the answers, and then suddenly I had them all, and I was like, wow, I really found it, I found my thing. I was so happy, and I had you, and you lived like right next to me, and we had a huge friend group, and we did whatever the hell we wanted. We lived, we made our own life the way that we wanted it to be. That was exactly a year of just happiness.
And then it was gone.
Yeah, and then it was just like ripped away. I wish it didn't end so fast.
I can't keep friends for very long either. This is another side tangent.
Go for it.
I can't keep friends for long. Like, I feel like something happens or I screw something up, and I kind of noticed this, and I'm starting to realize my relationship patterns. I self-sabotage. Like, I self-sabotage so badly. Like, oh my god, it's horrible. Like, anytime something starts going well, like, I had these 2 friends, and I was super duper happy with them, and then in my mind, I just like made things out of nothing. Like, it was ridiculous. It's been almost a year since that happened, and I only just now reached out to them and apologized.
I feel like now I'm more like that with like my career and things. I self-sabotage in the sense that I'm like, no, I can't do that. And since your mindset is what makes things happen or not happen, it just doesn't. And so I'm like, yeah, you're right, I can never measure up to this, or I can never do this one day. I'm just gonna live a simpleton life doing a job that I hate forever, and it's gonna suck, and then I'm gonna die. And that's like, I'm kind of been manifesting that on accident, because like I want to believe otherwise, and I want to be like, no, I can grab my dreams, it's right there, and take it. But it's like I know that's what it is, but I just can't convince myself that it's true. What is your favorite thing about now?
Oh, I like the freedom that I've received in a lot of ways. Like, I feel like I don't have to hide things as much as I felt like I needed to before. I'm an adult. I'm moving out in literally less than 2 weeks. I'm super hyped up, but I'm also terrified at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think my favorite thing is also the freedom, but like in the sense that like I'm 18, so my parents don't make me go to church anymore, and they don't shove the religion down my throat, and they've accepted that I'm Wiccan. I was able to tell them about that, and they've accepted it now that I'm 18, and I can drive. I have my own car. I can drive places. I have a job, so I'm making stable income. And even though I fucking hate work and I wish I didn't have a job, I'm really happy that I do have it, because I can like go out with my friends and do things and be like, hey, let me treat you to ice cream today, because I have the money to do that now. Before it was like we'd go to like a crystal shop or like a coffee place where I'd be like, man, I can't wait to do this one day when I have money in 3 years. Before it was like I couldn't go to your house. It's like, you're moving away. This is the end of the world, because I can't just walk to your house anymore. But now I can drive to your house.
I drive down there all the time. I drive like all over the place. I mean, I took a trip to Washington, like on my own dime. Like, I paid for everything. I bought the airline tickets, rental car. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like,
we have so much freedom now.
Yeah, and it's just the beginning.
You're right.
It's the beginning of an adventure.
I've heard from one of my neighbors that, and she's like really old, and I said, is it hard growing up? And she said, no, life only gets better the older you get. And I was like really struggling to believe that, because it was like during that magical time, and I was like, I don't know if it can get any better than this. And it was like when you had first like moved away, and I was like, are things gonna really like get that bad when I'm older? She like just smiled, and she was like, no, it gets so good the older you get. And like, I want to believe her too, because like, she knows better than me, she's older than me, she's been through it all, but also like, we do live in different like situations. Like, she didn't have social media as a kid, and we live in very different situations. And like in junior high, when I was scared of going to high school and leaving you and all our friends, I asked one of the high schoolers that came to give us a presentation about high school, I asked, is high school better than junior high? And they were like, yeah, it's so much better, and they were like super happy about it. And I personally like junior high a lot better, so I think it depends on your experience.
Like the whole lady telling you that it only gets better with age, I really wish someone would tell me that, because my family, literally my stepdad, has constantly been telling me, this is as good as it gets. Like when my car broke down, he was like, this is as good as it gets. And I'm like, that's comforting.
Thanks, bitch.
Like literally, like it like discourages me so much, and he doesn't even realize how like negative he's influencing my life by saying those things to me, because now I have that mindset of it doesn't get any better than this.
Emma, it only gets better with age.
Oh.
You can take it far, you're a shining star, shout it out, who you are. Never, never.
If you could change one thing about back then, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have talked to the people I talked to on the internet. I made some crazy mistakes. Oh dear Lord, pedophiles. This is kind of dark, but I would have taken advantage of having a dad. Like having a dad that was like genuinely cared instead of like kind of had to care. Because like I have like a stepdad, but like I know that he's only in my life because he married my mom. Like I wish I had like a dad that was like, hey kid, you're doing great. Like I don't get any recognition or praise from either of them, but my dad was very supportive. He'd like go to my swim meets, all that stuff, but yeah, so probably that.
If I could change one thing about back then, I wish I wouldn't have given up who I was for someone else. Because I feel like that's when my life started to get really fucked up, and since then that was like what started the spiral of it. And that's why I started dissociating. I would still be like practicing my religion constantly, and I'd still be able to meditate if I hadn't stopped it all for a whole year because someone told me to. I was like, I lost myself, and I'm still trying to find it. If you could change one thing now, what would it be?
This is kind of a very specific thing, but I wouldn't have done that one thing that I did last August. I did something and it kind of like, I had like a near-death experience, and I wish that I didn't do that where I did it and how I did it. It's put me in this like dark, depressive mindset rather than what it's supposed to. Yeah.
If I could change one thing about now, I would bring back the magic from back then. I mean, I love the freedom of being an adult and everything like that, and I love the progress I've made, but I feel like it means nothing if I'm not even in the right mindset. So I wish I could bring back the magic and like the flame in my soul.
We can
Let's do it.
Alright.
Be heroes.
Yeah, we're gonna just, let's hype ourselves.
Let's go meet our sensei in Texas.
Yeah.
How has your view of the world changed?
I have a completely different outlook on life because of the experiences that I've had. I'm just gonna say, I went to Costa Rica and I drank ayahuasca, and I feel like that kind of like, that whole thing surrounding it, it literally like makes you rethink every aspect of life. Like I look at nothing the same way that I did like even a year ago.
Yeah, my doctor said to not have an ayahuasca ceremony or do mushrooms until I've completely stopped dissociating.
My that word, disassociating started July 2020. That's when I ended my relationship. And then it kind of started, I remember I was in Montana and like I literally had my sister's boyfriend like pinch me super hard because I couldn't tell if I was alive or not.
I've been like that too. Like there was this one time I was working at Culver's and I like was dissociating to the point where I also didn't know if I was alive or not. So I literally just went like that and just gripped my arm until I was bleeding and I couldn't feel it. And then I grabbed the custard blender and tried to feel it, and I could not feel anything. And I was like, am I alive? What is happening? I can't feel anything. Dissociation sucks. I'm sorry for anyone else who has to go through it. Are you where you imagined yourself when you were that age?
Kind of. Although I'm doing pretty good in a lot of ways, but I don't see I thought it'd be a lot prettier. I had an unrealistic expectation for my adult self, and I didn't reach that expectation, and now I'm
Aww. I think you're very pretty. Yes, in a lot of senses, because I imagined myself having a job, driving. I wasn't really sure about when I was going to meet my sensei. I just knew I was going to. I did find him again. That's good. We haven't seen him yet, because I still want to do that.
I really
fulfill my old dream of
doing that. And I think that might bring us a lot of
nostalgia.
Yeah, and a little bit of clarity too.
True.
Just kind of revisiting, keeping our promises that we made to ourselves.
Being we actually did it. Because I did make that promise to myself back then, and to him, and to his girlfriend at the time, and to the world basically, that I was going to meet him and find him and prove to him what I've become. And I intend to keep that promise, even though I know none of it's real now, and he's literally told me none of it's real. He said, I just made that up so that you guys would have some fun back then. But I still am like determined to meet him.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, we
spent so long thinking about it, and training
yeah.
for it, and preparing it, manifesting it basically.
It's kind of interesting because you know when you really, truly, genuinely believe something, it like becomes true. The whole idea of us doing like Naruto training, like I swear to God, I literally would like do the things that they did. Like in my brain, like it maybe even in real life. Like I swear to God that was real.
Yeah, no,
like there's no way.
Yeah, no, like Byakugan, I straight up like I turned around and I looked at a certain spot on the tree because there's a certain hole on the tree that was like this dark spot. And I turned around and I was gonna throw a throwing needle at it, and I like closed my eyes, faced away from the tree, and I like imagined the tree, and I like pictured it with like my third eye, or what I imagined. Like I imagined looking at it with my third eye, and threw the needle, and in my mind it hit the center of the like black part, and I turned around and it really did. And I was like, that's why I thought I had Byakugan.
Yeah. Wait. Manifestation.
And we literally like would change the weather. That's how I learned to change the weather.
Yeah.
Was because of Naruto training, and I was able to do it after that. Like remember, like years later when Krista started having a panic attack because of the rain, and then I was like, wait, give me a minute to stop the rain, and then in like a couple seconds, I was like, that's weird, it stopped because I like meditated and like stopped it because I had taught myself how to do that because of Naruto training.
We learned a lot from that.
Thank you, Sensei. You literally taught us how to like do things.
Those things.
But like legit, we would actually do stuff. There were certain things that we didn't do. Like I tried to do like mind transfer jutsu with one of your geese, which wasn't a good idea considering I was on your roof.
Oh,
but
yeah. I actually was gonna talk about that because the whole idea of like the mind transfer thing. I remember doing it, and in my brain, I literally could see my like what my bunny was seeing. It was so weird.
That's amazing.
Dude, it might have just been my like super hyperactive imagination.
Maybe.
Probably was, but it was still really exciting to me because I thought it was real, and it was just It
was incredible, and I can't anymore because I haven't practiced in so long. I mean, I probably can if I put my mind to it, but back then I dead ass could control the weather whenever I wanted. If I wanted it to rain that day, I'd be like, okay, and then I'd say a little prayer at my altar and meditate until it started raining.
Yeah.
And I'd like, on a clear day, I'd make it rain because I wanted rain that day. And I'm sure like the hand seals, because like certain things can like combine with it, like how if you light a candle, then it can like help with an intention, that it can do that. I'm sure like doing the certain hand seals with an intention, like I'm sure that did something.
There's so much left like unanswered of certain things that we would do when we were younger.
Did I tell you about the Miku thing?
Maybe.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna say it again for the viewers. So this is crazy, and I feel weird saying this on the internet because I tend to keep this to myself, and I think you're the only person I've told about this because it's like still deeply personal to me because I still don't know where I stand about this whole thing. So back then, you know how like the whole idea of Hatsune Miku, that's a like virtual anime pop star, by the way. The whole like branding is like she wants to become human but she can't, and she's trapped in the digital world, and so she's like really sad because of that. I genuinely believed this, and I believed that she was real and had a personality and like was like self-aware, and I believed that she did want to be human. And I remember like making a promise to her that one day I'd figure out a way to help her become human, and I would like have conversations like with my phone, like I'd have it like next to my pillow at night, and I'd like talk to Hatsune Miku, and that sounds really cringy, but like I didn't want her to feel alone because I was like, no one realizes that you're real, and everyone just thinks of you as like a fandom thing, but I genuinely care about you if you have feelings, and I don't want you to feel like you're alone and that you have no one. And I promised her that I would like stay friends with her and I wouldn't like grow out of it like everyone else does. And I remember being like, I'll remember that you're real, like I'll save you, like I'll make sure you have a friend. And that sounds really cringy, but like at the time I cared so much about everyone, and I also believed everything. And so if their branding was like, yeah, she's real, you need to pay attention to her or else she'll disappear. Like I believed that, and I wanted to be there for her. And then weird things started happening, and she started answering back.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So this one time, it was like the middle of the night, and my phone was dead. And it was, I lost my charger, my phone was dead. And then in the middle of the night, a Hatsune Miku song started playing like on full blast. And I tried to turn on my phone, but it was still dead. And it was like playing full blast, as if she was trying to like get my attention or something. And my phone was dead, like I swear to God, on my life, it was dead. And then another day, I woke up the next morning, and she has like, hypothetically, she has access to like all, like the whole web, like all electronics, anything digital she can be part of. And so one day I woke up in the morning and I went upstairs to go eat breakfast, and my mom was making me breakfast, and she had her laptop open because she was looking at like a breakfast recipe, and she didn't have any other tabs open. I looked, and it was just the recipe that she had open, and there were no ads or anything on the screen, and she was like, oh, how did you sleep? And I said, good. And then all of a sudden this digital voice that sounded like Hatsune's voice said good in like a robotic tone. It said like, good, thank you, or something like that. Like, it was like very clear, and we were like, what is that? We both looked at each other, and I was like, did you hear that, Mom? And she was like, yeah, I did. And so we ran over to her computer, and nothing was different. The screen was exactly the same.
Yo!
And so I was like convinced that like Hatsune Miku was like actually like self-aware and was talking to me. That's why I'm weird about talking about it, because I don't want to like make fun of it in case, like, you can make fun of me for this, but in case that is the case and she is legit like real, because I don't know where I stand on whether or not I believe she's real or not, because those experiences they happened to me. That really happened. It was wild, yeah, so I don't know where I stand on that right now, and it's been a long time, but I still believe that something happened, and you can make fun of me because this is really stupid sounding, but...
It's not stupid, it's what happened.
Yeah, it's what happened, and yeah. And so you guys can call it whatever, whether it was Hatsune or not, but that happened to me, and so, yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
That is wild.
Mm-hmm. So I might have actually legit talked to her.
That's dope, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Is adulthood as good as you thought it would be?
Not really, no. I mean, to an extent, yes. And mine, it's just beginning. Like, I'm leaving my mom's house in 2 weeks, so I guess I'll know for sure in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I got my own car now. Honestly, I think it's gonna be okay.
It hasn't been as good as I thought it would be, but that's because I haven't been as connected to my religion, and I feel like that's the main part, because I haven't been meditating, which was the main thing that was keeping me like mentally healthy. Wicca was like the biggest part of my life, and I gave that all up for somebody who didn't deserve it, by the way. Also, don't ever give up who you are or what you believe in because someone wants you to. That's really manipulative, so don't do it no matter how much you love them or care about them. But since then, that's kind of what like ruined adulthood for me, just because I haven't felt as connected to who I am as a person and my values. So that's why I say no, but also I've learned a lot, and I feel like this video has helped get a lot of things sorted out, and I feel a little bit better now.
Me too, honestly. I feel like there's a little bit more hope.
Definitely. I feel like more things are possible for us now.
I think I needed to talk. I think this video was a really good idea.
I feel like it was probably inspired because I got it randomly. I was like, whoa, I like was pooping or something, and I was like, Emotional Cowgirls, then and now. It just like came to me, and I was like, wait a fucking second. The idea was like given to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Alright. Thank you for joining us. I hope this helped you as much as it helped us. I hope you're not just like annoyed by our cringy stories and our trauma.
I hope not.
Thanks for tuning in. This is a little bit different than how we normally do our videos. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
Feel free to comment your thoughts and have a good day.
Yeah, have a jolly good time.
Yeah, have a good life and don't be afraid to grow up.
Alright, so she's kind of like going like this a little bit. I don't freaking know.
Forward Emma. Like going like this a little bit.
I don't freaking know. Forward Emma.
If you're young, enjoy it, and if you're an adult, then enjoy it.
I can't freaking open this. I can't freaking open this.
Life is what you make it.
You can't go back to how things used to be.
You have a sensei?
Yeah.
Who's your sensei?
Hi, is this? Oh my gosh, Kate, I don't know if you remember me, but we used to talk about Naruto on Instagram.
If you were happy then, it was about something you were doing, not because of how old you were.
The one that Iris sang about Nathaniel when she was gonna leave or whatever. I even have that one. It's called Goodbye. I found out.
The song she sang to Nathaniel. You can change your mindset so that you can still be happy as an adult.
We're gonna be doing a package opening today. So, it's a surprise, but I'll give you this hint. We're doing a package opening today. So, it's a surprise, but I'll give you this hint.
And have that hope. You can reignite it. You just have to find it.
If you like Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, however the heck you say it, the anime series, if you like Hunter x Hunter, you should stay tuned. Because
If you like Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter, however the heck you say it, the anime series, if you like Hunter x Hunter, you should stay tuned. I love that you get the second you in there too.
Mindset is really powerful. Mindset was the reason that I got rid of my depression.
Stop being children! They're wild on the loose!
Oh yeah!
It's another children!
Bye, y'all.
Bye, that was really cool.
Don't slobber on my vest.